days when you think you have everything figured out and suddenly you find out you don't? Yeah, that kind of happened. Actually, definitely happened. So what happened was that I put together this 22-minute video that would have been absolutely wonderful, covering all my OCs for the DC universe and stuff. And it ended up being 22 minutes, and the only way that gets on to YouTube is if you give them their phone number. Yeah, I don't give up my phone number. It's just a little safety rule I have. Besides, I have too many telemarketers going after my phone. So, here we go again, trying to, get some OCs out there like I promised to do, over a month ago? I was honestly planning on getting them out there about, a month ago. So, yeah, this is quite irritating for me. I also had music with that video, so this time around I'm just going to ramble on really, really fast and hope that I don't actually butcher things. So, here are my OCs. I have 3 of them, and they have drawings, they have their own backstory, there are alternate versions of them. So, quick rundown with every single one if I can. First, we have Martha Hippolyta Wayne, also known as Diana Pennyworth, and also Lady Luck. Now, this is a character that was during my Justice League cartoon phase, and she was actually cute, adorable, had a thing for Tim, and her main powers were heightened speed, heightened jumping abilities, having strength, and she was smart like her father, but not so much for anything else. Her parents were Batman and Wonder Woman, and like I said, Justice League cartoon phase. Those two get together, they have a baby, Diana dies, and things get a little bit more fun. So yeah, she had a couple storylines going on, but mostly she was the hidden princess of Gotham, and Bruce was always hiding her from the world. So she didn't really get much development as a whole, but she did get some. I eventually changed the character into being something completely different, and she became a character for my own original series. She is known as Lady Luck, and I changed her name to Martha Logan to honor both DC and Marvel. And that is the story of Martha Hippolyta Wayne, the former Lady Luck of a series that was never going to take off the ground. There's nothing written down for it, so have fun. Next up, we have Red Robin number 2. This person has about, 3 identities, if I know right. It's pretty obvious that in the future you're going to have future versions of Nightwing, Red Robin, Robin, Red Hood, Batgirl. This was originally inspired actually by Batman Beyond, and me loving Tim, I decided to make a second version of Red Robin. So you have a Sarah Beale, but her name that she went by all the time was Samantha Drake, because that's what her grandfather liked to call her. So, first version of her, she was being used by her family to make money, because she's a genius, tech goddess kind of stuff, and she listened to her grandfather a long time ago about the stories of Batman and Red Robin and Robin in general. So, inside Neo Gotham, she decides, in order to get a little bit of freedom, to make the mantle of Red Robin. She fights crime a little bit, gets Terry's attention, and with that, she basically makes him investigate, try to find her, and eventually get her into her grandfather's custody. She does become Red Robin full-time eventually, but for the most part, she's a side character, just a little, oh, hi, I'm here kind of thing. I think it goes more along the lines of future Catwoman, the Catwoman Beyond thing. So yeah, original Red Robin number 2 was also Red Robin Beyond. Second version of her became a part of the story called Further Down the Line, in which Bruce was transported throughout time, the whole entire Return of Bruce Wayne storyline. And instead of coming back when he should have, with his family inside modern times, he goes into the future relative to them. Now, this original Bruce Wayne was from the 40s, and everything that happened with the heroes of that era all happened around World War II, gets disguised by things, and people started thinking it was delusion of the 50s as well. So, you have all that going on. And Bruce comes and eventually ends up being inside our era, where he had to basically outlive every single person who was mortal that he knew. And the last person to die was Tim, who ironically, according to the records, died long beforehand. He faked his death. And Everyone believed that Tim was dead for the longest time. And the only person who actually believed that Tim was his granddaughter. Again, her name's Sarah, and she changes her name to Sam Drake. So Bruce thinks that everyone's dead. He starts trying to reboot his life inside that world, and he decides in the end to, I don't know, what was it again? Yeah, he eventually teaches history at a local university. Yeah, that's what I made him do. But he also eventually becomes Batman. He does, though, run into Sam here. She actually investigated Batman, tried to find him, and she eventually found out, oh my gosh, he's right here, he's alive, my grandpa might be dead just a couple months before, but hey, I found my great-grandpa! And so, everything works out that way. There's also a future Nightwing, a future descendant for basically every single one of the Bat Kids had kids, except I think Barbara, something about her. Anyway, you can actually find all the details inside the fanfiction Suddenly Neglected Unfinished Stories. Anyway, the actual story was further down the line, but Suddenly Neglected Unfinished Stories is a collection of short of beginnings for stories that I never got around to finishing. And there's one thing that just ideas. So if you ever want to take a look at them, please do. I'll leave the link in the description below. So last version of Red Robin was actually Ava. This one actually is a completely different girl, and even though she is kind of the granddaughter of Tim Drake, she's actually genetically the daughter of every single member of the Bat family inside this post-apocalyptic kind of Gotham thing. And yeah, she's kind of weird. It was more the costume I was having fun with than anything else. She didn't really have a storyline, she was just created. And last OC here is Thunderbird, also known as Teresa Tane. Now, Teresa Tane is actually the real name for her. She has about, let's see, 4 iterations, I think. 3 names, 4 different versions I can think of. Anyway, first version, traditional version, is actually one where she could exist inside the DC universe. Not so much influenced by the Bat family so much as someone who could actually influence the Bat family. But she's basically the southwestern hero inside her little corner of the universe. She lives inside the Southwest, or specifically Arizona. She has a completely different set of rules. She has a whole bunch of guns. She has 1 metagene, which is very interesting. She's the walking cure. Basically, her metagene is being able to cure anything. It's she has a perfect immunity. That's the best way to describe it. She is able to, if you inject her with any kind of toxin, she can get the antitoxin made inside her body without even thinking about it. It became a running gag that every single time someone tried to put some kind of gas or tranquilizer around her, she just go, oh, that stinks! What did you put out here? Axe or something? Seriously, she did not understand what was going on around her. She doesn't know she has this metagene until her mom is about ready to die, and any kind of cure wouldn't be able to do anything for her. So yeah, she has her own storyline that's quite interesting, and at the end of it, she actually has to fake her own death because everyone found out about her metagene. With that, she could also cure the world and also, take care of infertility for certain people. They could use her blood to become rich, become immortal. She's not immortal, she just can heal. It can heal internally. But yeah, she had to fake her death, and after that, she lives out the rest of her life as Nighthawk inside Gotham as Tim's love interest. Yeah, a bit too obsessed. So another version of her is an alternate world where there was a nuclear holocaust, or actually the nuclear power plant over inside Arizona blew up, destroyed a fair portion of the population around it, and she's the only one who survived, thanks to her metagene. It doesn't help when it comes to burns and stuff, but it does help with radiation poisoning. She's immune. So she was picked up by Dick, and there he kind of raises her, even though she is technically adopted by Bruce, who is going completely insane at that point. Oh, Tim is dead inside this universe, and he didn't get a chance to get Batman back on track. So what happens after that is that the Justice League went crazy, and the Teen Titans fought them. There was a big old war, both sides lost, a lot of people died, and Teresa was one of the few survivors. So was Bruce. he ends up joining Talia, reforming the League of Shadows, and is haunted by Dick while he's also raising Damien, and they're also their eventual future daughter. So Teresa becomes Nighthawk inside that universe, very serious, takes care of all the League and Titans kids, and revamps the universe, make it better. And she also spanks Damien. This is one thing I love about Teresa, that she disciplines Damien at every single one of her universes. Third version was actually from the Injustice universe, in which instead of her whole tragic backstory, it goes along the bad ending, and this is before I heard about the comics going further on inside it. Anyway, inside it, she was basically the person who finds the Teen Titans, releases them, and gets everyone on the track. And this is with the bad ending, where Superman takes over the world again. And her family gets enslaved, she's the only one to escape, and she has a necklace that can turn into a cloak, which becomes Hades' shadow helm, or shadow cloak. If you know anything about that, the shadow helm that Hades has is actually able to make a person invisible. Her cloak is actually able to transport her through shadows, and no one can find her as long as she has the cloak around her. So she has a little bit of help that way. She also has an ancestor who's one of the old new gods, Sai, the goddess of justice, who was banished from both Genesis and Apocalypse. Yeah, she has a lot of fun that way. Granny sometimes takes over her body, and when that happens, Sai can take over her and beat Superman to a pulp if she wants to. The best part about Thunderbird is that she is the common girl inside this one, where even though she has that metagene and stuff, she is able to relate to both sides. She understands Superman's point of view, she completely understands it, but she also saw the end result of his ideology, and she doesn't want that. So, truth be told, Batman's route, much safer. She helps end the war there. She's not the key characters inside it, obviously, she can't be, but she is someone who gets the ball rolling in the right direction. A further tale of this actually makes it so that she goes over to the Marvel Universe, and this is during the whole SJW complete craze thing going on. Anyway, she ends up getting sucked over there, and there she has to try to get her own life in order. She hates S.H.I.E.L.D. in the end of it, because they're the ones who got her there, without her consent. And there she's known as Anubi, which is female form of Anubis. For some reason, people misinterpreted the Omega that was on her cloak into being the Eye of Ra or something, so she was called Anubi for some reason. She doesn't get it, she doesn't like it, but it's what she goes by. She goes, you know what, forget it, I don't really care, I just want to go home. And yeah, she spends her entire story trying to find a way to get home, but at the same time live her life. And that's the story of Teresa. She's actually just a fun character, and I wish I could get her into my own universe, but right now there's no way to get that to work. Yeah, those are 3 OCs. They're all girls, they're all brunettes, and they're all fun. And I really need to sign off now before this gets too long. Okay, bye-bye.